Welcome back to IPI4. We're at square 9. It's been a couple of squares since we've last released a video. But yeah, as you can see, a few things have already visually changed. The enemies are no longer around us. We have a bit of a wall here that's kind of surrounding the play area. So yeah, a few things have changed. We have enemies dynamically spawning in now. And not only do they do that, they kind of wander around and just generally look like they're kind of a bit more alive than they normally are. So let's just, we'll start the game. And let's see how we go. Okay. Unity's on the go slow, it seems to be. But yeah, so as you saw there, 5 enemies spawned in, and I'll just reset that. Hopefully that will just be a bit quicker this time. There we go. So as you can see, they're kind of spawning in onto the world, and they quickly hit the ground, and then they kind of do this random wandering style pattern. And they kind of get stuck occasionally, but yeah. So this is shadows here because we have some walls, and we have a few fixes as well. So yeah, this is just kind of random AI script that we've added. Just causes the AI enemies just to kind of randomly wander around a bit. The nav mesh agents, they always stay within the playable area, so it's really nice. But they just pick basically every 5 seconds they pick a random direction and they just travel slightly in that direction, which actually works really well. It makes them just seem a bit more like they're on small patrols, that kind of thing. Yes. So, anyways, small fixes. You can't click on yourself now to kind of launch yourself into the sky. If you don't click a playable piece of terrain, and it's not an enemy or an item, you can't move there. So you see this wall? I'm clicking it furiously, and we can't move there. And you can't click on yourself, so we're not getting some of those random jumping cube issues. It's a much smoother experience because we're only ever clicking on the terrain we can actually move on, which is really nice. And it should have less issues with just movement in general. One thing that we did have was the inventory didn't update live. It would require us to close and reopen the inventory. That's kind of annoying and didn't really sit well. So if we kill an enemy, we'll see if we roll over the gold, it updates dynamically. And if we click the sword, it's automatically added to the inventory. So that's just a couple of things we've decided to do, and just kind of, it's been a lot of little fixes here and there just to kind of make the whole overall experience just feel a little bit nicer and a little bit more complete. So yeah, that's kind of what we've done. We did have a look at installing Inventory Pro. I did talk about this in a video that you technically missed because we talked about it at length. But Inventory Pro is not very compatible with this kind of cutting edge version of Unity because we're running 2018.3 beta 4, which is about as cutting edge as you get in terms of Unity engine. I believe there's only one newer version. So the asset currently has not updated to match that. That's fine. You know, I'm not expecting assets to be completely up to date, but some of their code is obsolete, which makes it really hard to work with. Their editors just kind of are a bit broken on this version of Unity. You can't create an item, which is kind of annoying in an inventory system. However, I was able to look at their code and kind of see what they were doing, so I have learned some kind of approaches to inventory management and things like that. So yeah, that's something we can handle. The next square will be something I wasn't planning to add because we're going to install Inventory Pro, but that's an equip screen. So we've got the inventory here on the right, and probably if we push E or C, we'll have like a character here, and they can equip this wooden sword. And that wooden sword will also give them improved attack damage, you know. So really simple concepts, but you know, it kind of works. And maybe we'll have at some point after that, I'll look to flesh out and just add a few more drops. So we'll perhaps add like a shield, a kind of piece of chest armor, a helm, some leggings, and some gloves, and just to kind of have really basic, but you know, slots there that can be equipped and can be unequipped, and do things like that. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. Once we've kind of done the equip screen, I think after that it will be a case of adding the boss, where we kill probably 10 enemies and then a boss spawns in. And then we'll probably at that point look to have aggressive enemies that can attack the player. We'll create the stuff like player health, and then just kind of complete the game loop where if your player kills the boss, the level kind of essentially restarts, but the player gets to keep its current level, and they can advance to the next difficulty, which would just be because the enemies keep a relevant level to the player. In theory, the enemies should always be relevant. So yeah, that'll kind of be the end goal of the action prototype at this point. So yeah, coming along slowly but surely, but it's a much smoother experience now that you can't click on yourself and just like randomly jump around, and we don't have to worry about falling off and interesting. We had an inventory full of full swords then. Yeah, so just coming along nicely, and yeah, so until next time, probably square 10, maybe square 11. We'll see. Catch you next time.